Hey everybody, Scout Crafty here again. Another Mishmash Monday. Today I was driving up to Home Depot, pick up some bird seed, and look what I found on the side of the road. Now, I saw this on the side of the road, and what I saw sticking out was a piece of brass pipe. Anytime I see brass pipe in the car, I stop because, you know, I know people might not use it anymore for piping, but I use it for bushings and all kinds of stuff. So, and that stuff's so expensive. Grab that piece. So when I went to go grab the pipe, I looked in here and I said, wow, there's some other cool stuff in here. Let's go check out what we found. First, let's weigh it. Okay, we have it up on our trusty scale, and you can see the bucket weighs about 28.5 pounds. So let's see what stuff is inside. Okay, well, I guess you could see it don't take much to make me happy, right? Look at this. This is what we found. This is what was in the bucket. This is what's left in the bucket. That's kind of just junk in there, but everything else is, it looks like it's pretty good. Look at this, you know, this one here is still usable, and these things are hard to find now. Here's a 250 socket and adapter. Look, some hardware still in the package. I love finding that stuff, right? And, you know, all good stuff, all usable stuff, some brass. I use these pipes a lot, like little pipes like this, especially for bushings and things like that. I hate to take a good one, and now this is a lot of copper. I guess we don't use much copper anymore, but, you know, you could sweat a lot of these things in here, the elbows, and, you know, they're expensive when you go to buy them. So I'll just put these in my plumbing area, in my bucket and things like that. And these pipes, you know, believe it or not, these pipes come in really handy a lot of times. Even if you wanted to sleeve something and not use it for anything plumbing, but something structural or a project you're making. And look at these gate valves. They're in great shape. A ball valve. I gotta tell you, you know, it always amazes me when people throw stuff out, you know, that still has, you know, obviously some of the stuff wasn't even used. So pretty interesting, right? A good find. Good way to start the week. Hey everybody, next up we are here at the Lyceum in Terryville, Connecticut. And what this is, it's a padlock show. And a lot of you are wondering where I get some of my old padlocks and things like that. Well, they do have padlock shows, and if you've never seen one, let's go check it out. Well, that lock show was a lot of fun, and you know, you could really go through a lot of money if you're a lock collector there. They got some really beautiful stuff, but I try and keep it low-key. Let me show you a little bit what I got. Okay, this is what I picked up at the show, and I know you don't usually try not to go to a show after payday, but I only go once a year, and this is kind of what I pick up, and then this will have to last me. Maybe once in a while during the year I'll pick up. And let me show you two locks today that I think you'll find pretty interesting. These two are the ones I want to show you today. We're going to clean these up before I show you them. But you have this Yale lock. And take a look at the condition of this. You know, we'll get this nice and cleaned up. And we have this tire lock from the early teens to the early 1920s. And look at this. I'm just showing you what it looks like, and then we'll clean it up, and then so you can get a good view of it. Okay, we're all cleaned up, and let me show you what we got here. First off is this nice Yale. Again, these are from like the early 20s and things like that. And look at this nice casting on this lock. Cleaned everything up, got the rust off. And of course, you know, the keys really make a big deal when you're dealing with whether or not you're going to pay top dollar for a lock if it has the original keys. And here it has 2 of them. Let me show you what's interesting about this lock. Watch the shackle when I turn the key. The shackle opens up and turns 90 degrees, and there's a spring in there you could see, and it's just a beautiful lock. And it's a cast, cast iron or cast steel, and you can see again, opens up, nice spring, nice and strong, closes nice, all lubricated. A lovely little lock, and so that's the first one I want to show you. Our next lock is a pretty rare lock, and again, you don't see these too often. This is a Johnson. You can see here, Johnson Universal Spare Tire Lock, and this was manufactured by the Johnson Auto Lock Company back again, like I said, the early 1920s. Now, how it operates, there's a little hole here, and you see in the hole, if you look in the bottom, there's a little ledge that comes out there and will engage with these detents along the cable. This is a 24-inch armored cable. There's cable inside here, and it's armored with these little round steel discs that rotate. So if you wanted to cut it, using a hacksaw, which was the cutter at the time of the day, you'd have a very difficult time cutting into this cable. Now, if you look here on the bottom here, you could see here it has a Yale. You can see here, it's a Yale cylinder. And to operate it, you would lift it up and pull this over like this. It exposes the key. Now, if you look at the keys are very ornate. And what's nice about these keys, look here, you could see here, these are the 2 original keys. Again, very difficult to find with both original keys. But what you would do is you would take the key here, insert it into the cylinder like this. And once you have the key into the lock, you would give it a turn like this. Now, you can't remove the key when it's engaged, but now you would take your cable, wrap it around your spare tire, and place it into this hole here like this. Once you have it into the right size that you want, you would take the key and turn it and then remove it, and then that would lock your tire. Now, notice the size of this, and you can see, because the tires back then were the Model Ts and the Model As, they were very small tires, so this was plenty of room to lock that tire. But always a very interesting lock that you don't see too often. Now, when you came back to your vehicle and you wanted to remove the lock from the spare tire, you just move that little hatch over, insert the key into here, and then give it an 1/8 of a turn like this, and this will slip right out. Once it slips right out, again, you have to have the key in the lock position before the key will remove from the cylinder and cover the hatch. So it was a beautiful lock, and again, these are pretty rare. You don't see them. I haven't seen too many of these, and I really enjoy this. Anything from the 20s. Okay, next up on the mosh, a couple months ago, lost a really good artist in the world. His name was Leonid Afimov. And the guy, I'll tell you, when I first saw his paintings, I realized how much color means to me in the form of artwork. And I've seen other things. I've studied some artwork, but I don't know if you've ever seen his works before, but they really spoke to me. Every once in a while you run into an artist that speaks to you. I want you to check some of his work out. I really enjoy an artist who knows how to play with light, like Thomas Kincaid and other ones. So I don't know why this guy, it's so hard to make your own style in this day and age when there are so many thousands of artists to come up with your own unique style. So I really appreciated his work. Okay, next up, we have a knife. Let's check it out. Next up, we have this knife, this beautiful Knipex knife that I saw this about 5 years ago, but it was only available overseas. You can't get these in the United States, and I happened to find somebody on eBay from Germany that was selling these. Again, this is made in Solingen, Germany. And let me show you. It's a pretty interesting knife, and I always wanted it when it first came out. Let's take a look. As much as I hate the clamshell packaging, this one here isn't bad because it opens up and allows you to get in, and you can also store it in there, so I don't mind that too much. But here it is. We have the knife. It's got that textured like polyethylene handle. It's really nice, and you can see here that it's made in Soligen, Germany. And when you open it up, it's not locking. You know, this is just a lanyard holder. It's just a regular pocket knife. Now, I wasn't sure about the blade when I bought it because, you know, I'm used to a regular straight blade, but this has this little triangle. It makes it easier to open up the knife when your hands might, instead of getting your nail in there, you could pinch it and get a good purchase on there to open up the knife. And it seems solid. It's lightweight. It has a nice feel. It's not 100% ergonomic for me, but it's a nice knife. And over here would be good for cutting, line and cord, which a lot of times you do when it's close to the handle of the knife. You tend to grip it this way and cut your cord, whatever like that. And it's got that sheep's foot design. I like it. And so that's one thing that my friends overseas, you have you can get these right off the shelf, and cheap too. But here, this one cost me, I think it was $15 and about $8 shipping from Germany. So, but interesting knife. I just thought maybe you'd like to see it. The Knipex standard, I guess it's almost like their electrician's knife or utility knife. And here's the model number. And I'll put a link to it where I got it from in the description. Speaking of Germany, in the mid-1500s, a tradition came out of Germany of the Christmas tree. I'm sure many of you are familiar with it, and that's where during Christmas time you put up a tree and decorate it and things like that. I saw something when I went to Home Depot that blew me away. And am I out of my mind, or tell me what you think about it? Now, here at my local Home Depot, the Christmas trees are out because Christmas is coming. And look at these artificial trees. Look at the price on this tree. Is it me or am I crazy? What I find kind of humorous is the Christmas tree started off as a low-cost celebration, way to celebrate a holiday. You just went out in the field and chopped down a tree, brought it in, put some candles on it. Has things gone a little bit crazy? Anyway, let me know what you think about the price of that tree. Okay, another mosh is come and gone. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you have a nice day, and take care now. Bye-bye.